All right, daily challenge number 23. This one is definitely a little tricky. It's a continuation of challenge number 14, which if you haven't done, I would encourage you to do that first so you can have the base query that we are going to work with. But as a little recap, in challenge 14, we wanted to see a history of orders and payments by customer 363. This time we want the same information, which is customer number, order slash payment date, and order slash payment amount. But we also want to include a running total of their balance as a fourth column. Okay, so since I did challenge number 14, that's right, I'm a good student. Here is that query, and we did it for this particular customer. All right, whoa, microphone got lost there. But we're back. So I actually want to first format that a little bit. There we go. And so as you can see, we're grabbing the order amounts here. And in this case, we're multiplying them by -1, so we get a negative total there. And then we're also unioning in information for the payments. That way we have that to work with as well. When we run this, we'll remind ourselves what type of results we get. So we see for customer 363 on these dates. Then first they ordered $10,000 worth, and that's a negative number here because they went into debt. But then they went ahead and paid it back to the company, and that's that amount there, so on and so forth. So now we want a fourth column that will show the running total. So it'd be like negative 10,000 for the first row, and then be back to 0, and then negative 5,000, back to 0, negative 50,000, and back to 0. So a good way to do that, especially since we are using SQL Server, is to take advantage of the handy-dandy analytical functions through a window function. Makes things oh so easy. So what we're going to do is actually toss all of what we have so far into a subquery, or into a derived table specifically. And I'll show you why here in just a second. But if we pop that like that, and we bring this back here, now it's going to be our lovely derived table called A. And now that we did that, we can go ahead and access that data here. And if we just did select star, then of course it's just going to show everything that we just did show. But now this allows us to use another column that's pulling from the data inside a derived table, and it's going to be our window function. So in this window function, we want to see the running total, so it's going to be a sum of the subtotal, okay? And remember, subtotal is this column right here. It's not going to be this one because when you're doing a union, the column names are going to come from the first query. All right, so sum of subtotal, and the way the window function works, we'll say over here, and then inside the over, we're going to specify our ordering and then our grouping if we have any. In this case, since we're doing a running total, we actually don't need a group by, or a partition by actually is what it would be called. But we're going to do an order by, and we're going to order by the transaction date because that's the order we want the running total to be in. So we'll say transaction date, like so. All right, and that'll be as running total. So we've got that together now, and that's pretty much all we need, I think. Let's take a little run here and see if we get the results we want. Okay, great, so we do. So just like I had said, first we see negative 10,000, and then it's brought back to 0. Negative 55,000, back to 0. 50,000, back to 0. All right, so all we had to do was add in this beautiful little window function here, where we grab the sum of the subtotal, and it was ordered according to the transaction date, which allowed us to get that running total right there. Okay, so that's what it looks like. If you're not too familiar with window functions, go ahead and Google some things, and you'll get the concept pretty quickly here. The other big key is that we had to throw that into a derived table in order to make that all work nicely, since that data wasn't being created as a whole until it was unioned together. Okay, that's it for challenge number 23. Now that you're done with that, you are definitely ready for Intro to SQL Querying course, or especially if that query was very hard for you, then this is a good option for you. And this is also a reflection of the type of stuff you can find in our Ultimate SQL Querying package. We take you through all of the basics and then through all the hard stuff as in regards to querying, so you really come out of it feeling fully comfortable. All right, that's it for today. See you next time.